Well, hi, everyone. My name is Candace, and I'm here today to share a little bit of cool ed tech that I recently learned about that could be really a game changer for teachers and students all over. It's something that as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to really dig into it and learn more about it. So hopefully today I can teach you guys a little bit about what I've learned. So first of all, I remember when I was in the classroom, I would never start the year without having a class set of whiteboards like these. So I dug one out so I could show you. This is what I always had in my classroom. I made sure I had a set of 25 of these and working dry erase markers. And that's the key word, working, right? First day of school, I would start with 25. And then by the end of school, about 5 of these were on the floor without the lids, right? So they would dry up. That was a huge, huge problem. So now with this new little ed tech program that I learned about, teachers no longer have to deal with problems like that. They can just use this online digital whiteboard that I'm about to tell you about. So let's take a look at it. It's called Whiteboard Chat. I'm going to share my screen and we can go straight to Whiteboard Chat. You just put it in your browser and it is whiteboard.chat. Okay, just like this, whiteboard.chat. And the coolest thing about this is that it is a free interactive online whiteboard. So there, free. It is free for anyone. And that's what's so great about it. So if you would, you can type that in your chat, or you can just watch with me and type this in your browser, sorry. And you can just watch with me and see what it looks like. And we're just going to take a little tour about all the things that it offers. So when you land here on the homepage, the first thing that you see is this piece here in blue. One of the great things about Whiteboard Chat that you can't get with physical whiteboards is that the teacher can get a bird's eye view of all of the students working at the same time. So here you can see the teachers, and then all of the students in the classroom have their own individual board that the teacher can see all at once. So there's a little picture of that there. And if we scroll down, you can see that Whiteboard Chat is compatible with an iPad, Chromebooks, and even mobile devices. So that's another great thing. Teachers and all students can use it in this way. Then it goes on to say how it can be very engaging with students. I mean, it really blows your mind to see all of the different things that can be offered by using this digital whiteboard. We're going to keep on going down just a little bit, just so that you can see that it's also compatible with these programs, a lot of which teachers are using in classrooms right now, such as Microsoft Teams or Google Classroom. So can work well with that. Okay, if we go down here, this is one thing that really struck me the most about this, is that it is so accessible to all students and all teachers teaching any subject. So I want to just click in there and show you some of the really neat things that it can do to service all of our students. Okay, so one of the first things that caught me is that it can go into dark mode. So there is a setting in Whiteboard Chat that you can use dark mode that changes the white background to black, which makes that easier to read for a lot of our students. It also has a speech to text transcription. So if you have a student that may not be able to type or write on the whiteboard, they can use the speech to text option and be able to just orally give their answers, and it will type it out for them. Okay. Another great thing is this chat language translation. So if you have any ELL students in your classroom that their first language is not English, they can actually use their language and it will translate it into English. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Another thing that would be on the teacher end is being able to provide audio instructions. So there is a capability for the teacher to just orally give the audio instructions, and then the student can listen to those instructions. So if they need to take this home for homework, if the assignment is assigned for homework, then they can actually listen to the instructions again at home. So really, really neat things there. Okay, so it just goes on to show you there's other things like handwriting recognition, grids for writing, which we'll show you about. We're going to get into what that actual board looks like in just a moment, but I just wanted to show you what this offers here. So I'm going to go back. So here's the home page when you type in whiteboard.chat. And what you do here to get started, you don't have to have any account, okay? You can just go ahead and get started and actually play around with it, which is what I did. So I'm going to click right here, start class, try it for free. Okay. And our whiteboard is coming up. So this is what it looks like when you first start. Okay. Now you can see here, this is the instructor board view. So in a little while, we'll get into what it looks like on the student end, but I just want to give you a little tour about all of these different options and features that you have in the instructor board. So the first thing that I would suggest is naming your board. So I will just put teacher, since this is the teacher board. And then you will see over here to the right, it gives you a code. We'll use that code in just a little bit when we talk about the student view. But let's take a look at some of the things that it offers that a regular whiteboard, physical whiteboard, does not offer, right? Okay, up here you'll see the 3 lines, which gives you this menu, and it opens up the menu to show you what each of these tools do. Now they're pretty self-explanatory by just looking at the icon, but in case you didn't know what each one of them did, it gives you drawing tools. Okay, so I can open that up and I can see that I can use a pen. I can have a line, I can have an arrow, I can have shapes. Anything here can be used to write on this whiteboard. So let's just try out the pen. If I try the pen and I begin to write, that's what it looks like. Now, a lot of times students may not be able to use this drawing tool. So there is a way that they can just type text in, but you can see, you can just draw, or I can do maybe some math. Okay. But it doesn't look real neat, right? So what I want to do is I want to get rid of that. I want to just start brand new. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to clear my page. Okay, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to clear? And I say yes, and it erases. Okay, so much nicer than having these little erasers that we used to have, or what I used to use in my classroom was an old sock. Okay, but you can see here that, you know, socks get lost, markers get lost, but using this digital whiteboard is going to be very handy. So let's keep looking at some of these tools. There's the write tool here, and you can see this is a click to type. So if I want to just use that, I can click anywhere on the board, brings up a text box, and then I can just type what I want there. So again, if students wanted to type back to you or just type their answers, they could use that also. Well, let's say that I want to get rid of that, but I just want to erase a part of it. I can use the whiteout tool, and it comes here, and maybe I just want to erase that just the end part, and you can see it erases. A really, really neat kind of thing to do here. So it acts like a regular eraser, okay? If I want to clear my page again, I will just go there and clear it completely. Okay, so back at the menu board, another neat thing is the fact that you can upload. You can upload from your computer. You can upload any PDF you want. You could actually upload a bingo sheet and play bingo with your students. Okay, you can upload a live worksheet where you're working together with your students. Now, I wanted just to try one of the uploads here. So I'm going to say upload from my computer. And it's going to bring up things that I have saved on my computer. So here I have an addition bingo. I'm going to click open. Okay, taking a little bit. Hopefully it will come up. I'm not seeing it open. Well, it opened this morning, but might just be a little slow. Let's try another. Okay, let's try this one. Well, That's okay. It doesn't look like it's opening, but if it opens later, I might have to get rid of it. But what it will do is just pull up the PDF straight on this board so students can then work directly on that PDF that you have in your computer. So let's go on. Another great thing that you can do is you can upload photos, audio, and video. So this is where I was talking about that you could actually record instructions if you wanted to for students. So I can say here, start recording. This is where I would upload instructions for students. Click stop recording. And if it brings up this little play bar, then it means that it recorded what you said. Okay. So I could save that. Well, here it is. Let's hear it work. This is where I would upload instructions for students. So perfect. So you can do that sort of thing so students can then refer to that later. So there's also in the upload, you can upload photos if you wanted some type of photo or a Valentine message or any kind of holiday here, you could use that. You can also use your phone scanner to upload. So many choices that you can see in the upload there. Now, the next one is the tools. Tools, huge. Lots of ways that we can use this. There's games here. This is breakdown. And breakdown is when you use things like 100 block or 1,000 blocks or money. It breaks it down into smaller pieces. I had to look into that one because I didn't quite know how I would use that. The next one, self-explanatory, is a class poller. So you can actually poll the class and give them different questions. You can see here. Well, I need to collapse that so you can see it. There you go. You can just type your question here and your choices and then save and send it to the students, and the students see it on their end of the board. Okay, so anything that you can think of, maybe you could use this as an attendance type thing in the morning. You know, give your kids a question like, how are you feeling today? Happy, sad, upset? Okay, so that could be a really neat way to kind of take attendance in the morning. Okay, so keep on looking at this toolbox because amazing things in here. We have drop zone. We have a grading report that I haven't looked much into, but I did highlight some of the things that I want to share. Grids, I wanted to show this one because if you click on grids, it'll bring up another mini menu of all the grids that you can use on this whiteboard. So if I just wanted a big grid, if I wanted graph paper, maybe I want college lined paper. Here's what it will do. It's not bringing it up. I'm wondering if my internet is not working. I'm going to try another. Let's just use a graph paper. There it is. Finally, one of them worked. So there's the graph paper, and that's what it looks like. And you could just have kids write different things on the graph. Okay. Other things that I want to point out from this little toolbox icon here is you can have animations or pause animations. You can select and crop. It has chattel, and I had to look that up because I thought, what is chattel? So chattel is like a Wordle. Do you guys remember? I don't know if you guys have played Wordle before, but you can enter a word or a guess. So I can say that I want to enter apple, okay? And then I want to create this chattel or Wordle, and it will bring up the actual chat. I'm going to clear my page because that might be why. I really wanted you guys to see these things, and of course it works. When I'm not live, we're going to try this again. Auto pick 5-letter, create. Are y'all seeing anything on your end? No, I'm seeing a blank screen. So all of this worked this morning. So I'm not sure if I can go back to it and see if it can actually type it up. But what it does is it brings up kind of like the hangman board, and students will work into there to actually try to guess the word that I typed in, which was apple. Okay, and it gives them the letters they got correct, and then they can keep trying and keep trying. So it looks like a grid like that. So if none of these are going to work, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a tour and explain to you what all of them are supposed to do. And hopefully you can get in yourself and kind of work through those and be able to see those. Okay. The last one here is time machine, which is could be really useful for teachers in a classroom. This gives the teacher the opportunity to look at a student's individual board. If they've made a mistake, for instance, go back in time to see how the student progressed through that problem to catch their mistake. So that's time machine. That's really interesting. Okay, this is the select tool. So if I had an object, let's say that I wanted to have a shape in here, and I want it to be a triangle. Okay, 90. And it gives my shape there. Okay, so if I want to select my shape, I would select my shape, and I can do different things with this shape. I can animate the shape, and I could ask it to rotate. And it disappeared. There it is. I think my board is really large. So I'm going to try to reset that. Let's try again. Circle. There's my circle, and there's my rotating rectangle also. Okay, so now I'm going to try to get rid of all of that, and I want to clear my page again and start all over. Okay, so there's all clear. So other things on this menu bar here is one is lasso, and lasso is if you had a bunch of text or if you had some math problems here, you could lasso them all together if you wanted to talk about a specific part that you wanted students to see. And then we have pan here, and pan is just if you want the page to pan across, right or left, then that's what pan is for there. So really neat things. I'm sorry all of them didn't work that I wanted to demonstrate to you, but you can go through and really play around with these tools and see how you can use them in the classroom. I want to go back up to the top again, and I want to talk about this little dot here. So if I hover over the dot, you can see that it allows you to choose your pen color. So right now I'm on this dark blue color, but if I wanted to change it to a purple, you can see how it changes the frame of my board, and then will also change my pen. Okay, if I wanted to change it to a turquoise, it will change the color there and change the color you see here. So you can color coordinate anything that you use this board for. You can maybe use it seasonal, which is what I would do. If it's Christmas, use red and green, things like that. So changing the pen color is right up at the top. And you can choose any color you'd like, maybe the school colors, okay? All right, I want to keep going down this way because I want to just show you guys some things here on the bottom. Okay, so here you can see there's a page number. If you have multiple pages or multiple boards, you can scroll right or left to the second page or the third page. Or if you have a PDF document that's maybe 6 pages, you could alternate the pages here. If I were to have multiple pages, I could go to the thumbnail view, and here in the left, it will show me all of the pages. So if I wasn't sure where my particular problem was, I could go exactly to page 2 or page 3 or so on. Also, to get off the thumbnail, you just click it again and it goes away. The grid view is a really fun thing because this is actually where the teacher gets the opportunity to have that bird's eye view of all of the students' boards at the same time. So in order to try that, I wanted to see if I could invite some of you to my classroom so that we could actually see your boards. So the way you would do that if you're a teacher, you would click over here in the right-hand side of your board, invite, okay? So I want to invite you. I'm going to press invite, and you can see here there's several ways that a student can join your board. They can use a QR code here if they want to join with a mobile device, and they could just point their camera there and it will connect them directly to this board that we're working on here. Here is the link. Okay, you can actually copy and paste the link in an email, or in this case, I'm going to copy and paste the link into the chat. So hopefully you guys will get that. Okay, so I pasted the link in the chat. If you can click on that, and then we'll actually try to go to the grid view to see if we can see all of the students that joined. So while you are doing that, okay, if you can get that open, I'm going to show you another really neat thing that you can use different ways. If you see this flower up here, there's a flower up here by our initials, and this flower is supposed to be seasonal, and what it will do is it will freeze everyone's boards for about 10 seconds. So if you see that students are working and you really want them to listen to you, you can just click this and it will do, it says winter time, it is cold, and then look what it does there. It just has a fun little freeze. So this is supposed to get students' attention. So what it will do is just fall across the screen, and that changes each time. So that's just a fun little freeze your board feature. All right, so hopefully you guys were able to join, okay? If you were able to join with that link, I'm gonna go back down here to the bottom and show you how to use the grid view option. So if I click on grid view, this is what I should see, and I can see that all of you have joined my classroom here. And if there were something on your boards, like for instance, I gave you a math problem, and maybe I should have done that, given you a math problem, we could have seen that everybody could have answered their math problem on their board. Okay, so I can actually do that now by going back to my single view. Okay, and then if I want to type, let's just do this. What is your favorite color? So I can do this as a text. I can do it as a poll if I wanted to. So I typed that question, and then I want to go back to grid view. And if you can respond to that, we can see everybody's different responses, hopefully live. Okay, I see Nadia has purple on hers. So I can pull up Nadia's there, okay? And hers says, oh, did you type something in, Nadia? What is your favorite color? Purple. Okay, so what I can do here is once I pull up Nadia's, if it was a question, I could actually click on her board, make it bigger, and see how she answered it to see, oh, yes, she's getting my instruction, or I need to intervene and help her. If I wanted to intervene and help her, I could click join, okay?
Question.
Slow. Go ahead, Nadia, were you saying something?
How can you change the color of your text? Because I used little pen color, but I was
up here to the top, do you see that?
this one.
Pin color, and it looks like that. So this is your board that we're looking at now because it has your name.
So I put purple. Let me try it again.
Okay, so does it work?
It worked. I went in, I guess, because I was in this text box before. See, like, I guess that text box, because I opened it up before I changed my color,
Okay,
that one. So I'd have to like create another box somewhere else.
yeah, try it out to see if
Yeah, I guess because I was clicking in the same one and I changed it after I'd already used that one. Okay.
Okay, so here we're looking at Nadia's board. So she has purple and she typed it in purple. So she was able to change her color, which is really cool. So I could actually join Nadia's board and then I could respond to something that she actually showed me in her response. Okay, I have about 5 minutes left, so I want to get more into that, but I want to show you there's so much more. I want to go back to my instructor board. Okay. And I want to show you some last minute things, and then I will let everybody go because I have a timer set. It's a little slow. Okay, so now I'm back on my instructor board. And on this board, if you see here to the right, you can see these little objects here. The first thing is my objects, and this is if you save actual objects, it'll go here. This next one is gizmos. Watch what it brings up when I click on this. Okay, so it has manipulatives. It's really slow. Okay, really slow loading, but these are different manipulatives that you can click on and bring to your board and work with. So if I wanted to work with the 100 block, there, I put a 100 block there and you can see it's on my board. So I can actually use that as a teaching tool, okay? If I wanted the 1 block, I could move that over to my board. And there's the 1 block, okay? As many as I wanted to do. All right, so there's so many, you can scroll down and see all of the different manipulatives. There's rulers, there's shapes here, there's 10 frames, 5 frames, on and on. There's so many different manipulatives that you can use during your teaching. Fraction bars, that is something I would definitely use. So you can use those fraction bars and just show students what a visual representation of a fraction would look like. Okay, touch points, so many things. Okay, but not only just that, because notice that there's an up and down arrow here. So I can open this up and you can see the alphabets in all of these languages, animals, people, different money currencies. So there's holidays, there's math symbols. If I needed a plus sign, a minus sign, an equal sign, there's fun emojis and stickers. So you can use emojis to respond to students' work if you wanted to do that. All of these symbols, there's the emojis that you can use. Students can use them themselves to respond to that question. If I said, you know, how do you feel today? So they could actually use these emojis and respond and how they feel. So much. I mean, I could probably have an hour on this and still have some things to talk to y'all about. So we're up here in gizmos. If we go to this star, this is called widgets, and there's so much more. Okay, so here you can see widgets are different things that you can use also. A colored clock, a calculator. You could add a link, which I was going to show you, but I think we're running out of time. So if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a cool spinner. If I wanted to use this spinner and say, okay, everybody, I could even share this with you and have you guys spin it. So you could just spin that there and you can see that it actually spins and lands on something. You can customize this to students' names so that if I wanted a student to respond, I could say, let's use the spinner, who's going to be chosen next. So you can use that in the classroom. Another thing that I did want to show you, but we're out of time, is the YouTube link here at the bottom. You can actually link a YouTube video that you might want to use for instruction to introduce a lesson. And I did try that out and it worked beautifully. So all you would do is click here. And it'll bring up slowly. There it is right there. So you can see you could enter the URL for the YouTube link that you'd want here, and then it would show the students the video there. So like I said, there's so much to say about Whiteboard Chat. It is phenomenal. There's so many things that you can do. You can get rid of these old markers and whiteboards that you used to use. And if students have any devices, they can use these for instruction. And it's beautiful because you can actually see students as they're working individually. One other thing I want to point out that I didn't say before was this here. There is a raise hand for students. If they need help, they can actually raise a hand and you can see it on your end. So sorry if I rushed through that, but hopefully you got a good little tour of what Whiteboard Chat does. So thank you for coming, and maybe you can use this in your own classroom. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.